Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'll show you how I made some primitive fall decor using fabric scraps and patterns I purchased on Etsy, along with things from my stash. I'll have the pattern names listed in the description box below. I printed out the pattern and then traced it onto some scrap muslin fabric. I then stitched on the drawn line and then cut all around the edges. I clipped the curves and then turned the fabric right side out. Next, I firmly stuffed it and then glued the opening closed. I then painted the entire thing black and sprinkled it with cinnamon while the paint was still wet. Next, I used embroidery floss and a long needle and stitched on the nose. I then added a small circle of scrap fabric for the eyes and then added a French knot to the center of it. I used embroidery floss to make the whiskers as well. To finish it, I tied on a piece of coffee-dyed cheesecloth and a rusty bell. For the next project, I'm starting by giving a tin can a coat of brown paint. When the paint was dry, I gave it a coat of watered down white glue and sprinkled it with cinnamon. Once the glue was dry, I gave the entire thing a coat of spray Mod Podge to seal the cinnamon. When that was dry, I decoupaged a label to the front of the can. To finish it, I added twine around the top of the can and then added Spanish moss and a battery-operated candle to the inside. Again, I started by marking and sewing all the pattern pieces and then trimming the edges and turning them right side out. I then clipped the curves and stuffed the body. I sewed the opening closed and then gave the entire thing a coat of orange paint. Next, I used a piece of scrap felt to make the hat. I then made 3 French knots for the mouth and sewed on a scrap of felt for the nose. I used black seed beads for the eyes and buttons. Next, I glued the hat and pants on. I then poked a hole near each shoulder and hot glued a small stick in it for the arms. The stick legs are just glued into the pant legs, and then I added a piece of hemp cord over them. To finish it, I added a cheesecloth scarf and a small greenery bundle. I'm sure you're already tired of watching me sew, but I've got another Pumpkin Man pattern to make, the same process as the other patterns. For this one, I added plastic pellets in the bottom first and then added the polyfill. I then glued the opening closed. Next, I attached the arms. This will all be covered, so I don't have to worry too much about how neat the stitches are. I then gave everything a coat of orange paint. While the paint was drying, I made the coat from a piece of green felt. Once the side seams were sewn, I cut the front open as well as the neck. I then stitched on the pocket and the buttons. Next, I stitched on the felt nose and again used the seed beads for the eyes. I used a little bit of antiquing wax to grunge him up a bit. I then glued the head on as well as the coat. Next, I added a fabric scrap for his scarf. I then glued a small stick to the top of his head along with some Spanish moss and some angel vine. To finish it, I made a scrap fabric pennant sign and added that to the pocket along with some greenery sprigs. For the final project, I'm using some tin cans. I started by giving them a coat of black paint, followed by a coat of ivory colored paint. Next, I printed out some labels onto some water slide decal paper. If you're going to use this type of paper, follow directions on the packaging. You'll need to seal the image 3 times with a clear sealer before you apply it to your project. Once I had my image ready to use, I put it into warm water until the backing paper was released and then applied it to the front of the can. I then distressed some of the edges of the can. To finish it, I applied a coat of antiquing wax. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed these quick and easy projects, and I'll see you in the next video.